This is the EVP Podcast.
And it is us, the EVP Podcast, with your host, Ghosty.
And Beaker.
And we're back, guys. It's another week. It's another episode.
Is it?
It is.
Awesome. I'm excited.
I'm excited and fascinated.
Cool.
And a little scared.
Why?
I'm always scared.
Oh, okay.
But last night we did another investigation. Thanks to everybody that was able to attend and got tickets. We had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Yep.
We all had a good time.
Mm-hmm. I still have like 3 hours of audio to go through because I haven't had a chance to do that yet.
Well, it was just yesterday, so understandable.
Yeah, it was, and I work on Sundays, so. But I did something I don't normally do with my audio recorder.
What's that?
I usually carry it around with me.
And you didn't.
I did not. I just set it in a room and left it. And there was some of the ticket holders that bought their tickets like last minute.
Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. They were actually really cool people.
Yeah, they were.
They were in the room where I hid my recorder.
And then?
And I came up to get it to move it somewhere else. I didn't realize they were up there. I came to get my recorder, and at this point I had put on some of my noise canceling headphones. Mm-hmm. And I was playing music, and I was like walking around just like jamming out.
And then?
And so I walked upstairs, and I see that they're there, and I can't hear shit because I'm listening to music on my noise canceling headphones. So I stop and put them away real quick, and I'm like, oh, hi, sorry. I'm just going to sneak in here real quick. I grab my recorder, and I pick it up, and before I walk away, I go, just so you know, I heard everything you said. And then I left.
I thought you were going to say that they were doing something.
No. He did tell me he tried to tag his fart. So I don't know. I don't know if he actually did or not. I haven't listened to the audio, but awesome. A lot of neat experiences that some of the people told me that they had in the main theater. I know we've talked about the Ritz before. This is our third time there. Mm-hmm. LaDawn brought out some cat balls.
Cat balls?
Yes.
Yeah, the
light up cat toys. And they were getting interaction with those. Those were lighting up for them.
That is cool.
And the thing is like these are stationary. Like they put them in a spot where they can't just roll on their own. Mm-hmm. And they weren't rolling really, but they were getting. It was like something was tapping them and lighting them up.
Which is that's pretty cool because it does take some pressure for those to actually make some light.
So yeah, it's a lot of interaction with the cat balls. I set up my laser grid in the main theater for some of the people that were in there. I had it pointing at the screen, so if anything walked on the stage, people should have been able to see it.
Yeah, that's pretty. I like that grid though. It does. It was the one from Ghost Stop, right?
Yeah, it's the red one. They do have a 360 laser grid. I just have the frontal one.
Yeah, full frontal.
Full frontal.
That's what we like.
But yeah, I thought it was that was another thing I haven't done before. Is I just set up the laser grid, had it set up pretty good on the main screen, and that way, if anyone was in the theater, if a spirit walked in front of it, they definitely should have been able to see it. I don't know if anyone did because I didn't ask, but there was just stuff I set up for people to see. I still have not done my unboxing video yet, but we are still working on the ANC Mini. We did the test run with it yesterday. We want to do some more before we give a final review and our opinion on it. We're still
taking on a couple more investigations, which we have another one next month.
Friday, October 20th is actually not next month. It is this month.
Today. Oh, yeah, it's this month now. It's October when you're going to hear this.
Yes. Well, it's October as we're recording.
True that. Very true.
Cheese and rice. October 20th, Friday, 7 p.m., Benson Grist Mill. Tickets are only $25. Get yours. Come hang out with the EVP crew.
Have a blast.
Have a blast. Our investigations are fun. We kind of do a quick little rundown, maybe give you some history of the place, and then we just set you loose. We let you go do your own thing. So if you do come with us, we do have very limited gear that we can let people borrow, so we recommend people bringing their own gear if they have it. If not, go check out our affiliate link at ghoststop.com. You can buy some pretty cool stuff there.
You'll receive it before the investigation.
Yeah, I bought the ANC Mini. It took only a couple days.
Oh, yeah, it was quick.
I think I bought it on Wednesday, and it showed up Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot quicker than what the website said. It told me it was going to be like a week, and it was like a couple days.
Well, yeah, they don't want to, they under whatever and then over whatever.
No, well, this is totally fine. No, it's right. They tell you it's going to be longer, and then when it shows up sooner, you get all excited.
Exactly.
It's exactly what happened to me, and
now you love them even more.
Yes. There is so much gear on Go Stop, and there's some other websites that have stuff that I'm looking into. One's a handheld Jacob's ladder.
Oh, nice.
I almost want to see if we can figure out how to make our own.
Electricity and science.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Maybe I should have your brother help me with that.
This week, we are going out of the country.
Again, I bring us back. No, actually, I took us away.
You took us away.
I took us to Australia last week.
Yep, and I'm still staying out of the country this week. We're going to Dublin, Ireland.
Yes.
You guys all heard of the Hellfire Club?
Yeah.
But not the one from Stranger Things, though.
Oh.
But now you probably haven't heard.
But the one from X-Men, right?
No.
What?
No. This is the OG.
The OG?
The OG Hellfire Club.
This is the club that the club on X-Men was actually based on.
And actually, what's crazy is we're going to do a little bit of jumping around because the story that we're doing
That's how Ghosty rolls.
That's how I roll. The club that we're talking about is in Dublin, Ireland, but it actually has its origins in England. So we'll talk a little bit about the origins and then move our asses back to Dublin.
This club was all over the place.
Yeah.
They weren't stationary.
True that. So first off, the place that we're talking about in Dublin, Ireland is Montpelier Hill. And the way that was founded was by this guy named William. His name was, well, he went by the name Speaker. His name was William Speaker Connolly. And there was an ancient passage grave with cairn stones at the top of this hill. And when he went up there, he was actually the wealthiest man in Ireland. But he came along and wanted to build a hunting lodge. And
as you do.
That's what you do. And so this was 1725. He has all this money. He can do whatever he wants, right?
Right. Yeah, no, that's what I think. I'm like, here's this really cool, passageway, gravesite thing.
Yeah, it's an ancient burial site.
Let's tear this bitch down and build a hunting lodge.
And you know what? Those cairns, the stones, let's use those to help build this lodge.
Right?
It's already there.
Oh,
let's just use that.
Yeah, no, he didn't just discard that stuff. Nope, it became part of the lodge.
Yeah, he pretty much just destroyed the whole burial ground and just built his lodge right on top of it, using the stones from the cairn.
That's always a good start to make sure things are not haunted.
And and he actually used one of the stones as the lintel of his fireplace. So I mean, he's got the main piece. He's got pretty much everything built from those damn stones.
Clearly, this dude never saw a poltergeist.
Yeah. Well, this is 1725.
Yeah, no, I know. It was a joke.
Duh. So anyways, the hunting lodge consists of 2 levels, with the main entrance on the 2nd floor. There was a 3rd level, but it no longer exists. The 1st floor, it just housed the kitchen, the servants' quarters, and adjacent stables. The roof of the lodge was actually blown off during a storm. So
wasn't it right after it was built?
Pretty soon after. A lot of the locals were pretty mad and upset about him doing that. They kind of all speculated because this happened. So. Yeah, with that roof blowing off soon after it was all built, they thought that was the spirit seeking vengeance for the destruction, and that's kind of where all the bad juju started.
Some people even thought it might have been the devil himself that did it.
Yeah, they were scared of the devil back then.
They were.
And so this is where this lodge is. This is kind of how it sits. But the club did not originate there. The original Hellfire Club seems to be created by Philip I, Duke of Wharton in England in 1719. Philip was a controversial character prone to excessive drinking and outrageously lewd behavior.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
I like this guy. The club's motto, I think this is French, is "Fa ce que tu voudras."
Isn't it "Voulu shuko le que toi"?
C'est choix.
C'est choix. We just totally butchered that.
Yeah, I don't speak this language, so don't.
Yeah, I think it's "Fa ce que tu voudras."
Something like that.
Which means if you know French, if it is French, let us know.
But this means "do what thou wilt."
Okay, I will.
Mm-hmm. And so this was started in 1719. Pretty much was made up to mock religion and just be outrageous and crazy and drunk. And this was then suppressed by the order of King George I in 1721.
Too crazy for the king.
Too crazy for the king.
We don't want this shit in England.
And then later on, years later, it gets started up again by this guy named Francis Dashwood, who also lives in London, England. And this guy has already established a couple other clubs already. He established 2 dining and drinking societies before setting up what would become known as the Hellfire Club. Because at the time, Dashwood was way too young to join the Duke of Wharton's club. And he ended up founding his own. And at first, they were nicknamed the Monks of Menmenham Abbey. And that was because they met in an old Cistercian monastery on the banks of the Thames. And it was later in 1746, where it was called, at this bar, the pub, it was called George and Vulture Pub, which is in London, which opened in 1142 and is still in business today.
Nice.
You know it's haunted. We got to talk about that one. Dashwood first then gathered together the band of upper crust hedonists who would later become known as the Hellfire Club. They originally went by the name of the Order of the Knights of St. Francis, and they were only limited to 12 members.
Hellfire Club sounds way better.
Way, way better.
Yes, we are the Knights of St. Francis.
Do you know some of the famous people or the wealthy people that were part of this?
Benjamin Franklin.
Right? Crazy.
The kite guy with the key. Yeah, Ben Franklin.
Where do you think he got that idea from?
He was an honorary member of the Hellfire Club.
I'm sure someone from the Hellfire Club. You know what you should do? Throw a key on a kite.
Probably. We're sick of this fire stuff. Go discover electricity. Put a key on a kite. That's exactly how it went down.
You know it. You know it.
Clearly.
I think he probably left London, coming to America going, man, I really missed that club I was in.
All these Puritans here.
But the English and the Irish Hellfire Clubs didn't appear to be particularly rigid formal structures. They would perhaps be more accurately be described as a shared special interest group designed purely for the hedonistic and self-indulgent pleasure with a view of amusing themselves in shocking society. So when the English, or when the one started up here in Ireland, it seems like they were just more extreme.
I can see that.
So
because the English are a little.
Yeah. Everyone takes. Well, I'm pretty sure.
English people probably
they brought it over there, and they probably were like, let's go a little bit
harder. The ones that are the Puritans, the prudish people, they came here to America.
Yeah.
Yay.
All the cool people went everywhere else.
Pretty much.
Except for Benjamin Franklin. He seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Connolly, the guy that built that hunting lodge there on Montpelier Hill, after his death, the hunting lodge was sold, and it was said to have become a meeting place for the Irish Hellfire Club.
So I think he only had it for 4 years.
Yeah, he died soon after. Yeah,
it was 4 years after.
Which they said was also part of that little curse thing.
Probably. This place is doomed from the get-go. Don't look. Mm-hmm. Here's what you do: if you're building something, don't build it on a cemetery, ancient Indian burial ground, anything like that. Don't mess with that stuff, or you'll get haunted.
That's right. So in 1735, this is where they start meeting here at this hunting lodge. And this was kind of founded, this Hellfire Club was founded by Richard Parsons. And this was also a man known for dabbling in black magic. And its members met at locations across Dublin and were known for their immoral behavior and debauchery involving alcohol and sex. And at the time, the...
debauchery, by the way.
Yeah, debauchery, tomato.
Yep.
So they would have all these crazy meetings there. They'd have orgies, and they practice black magic and
Sounds like my kind of people.
These guys were crazy cool.
Now, in that Expedition X, I think they were in this one when there was a part where there was a tunnel that they went in.
Oh, so Expedition X, the TV show on Destination Truth.
Yeah,
they went and visited this place, and they did an investigation there.
Yeah, they did. What I thought was interesting is because you talk about the sex rituals and stuff like that. One of the things they did mention in this show is there was these tunnels where the men went down the left tunnel and the women went down the right tunnel. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know there was one in England, there was one in Ireland, and I think it was the Ireland one that they did this. But the men went down one tunnel, the women went down another tunnel, and when you came out the other side, whoever was there, that was your sex partner for the rest of the night.
Oh shit! I missed that part, but that probably wasn't the caves in England then.
I think that was the one in Ireland.
Okay.
Pretty sure that was the one in Ireland. Yeah. There was the tunnels, and when they did their sex rituals,
and they wore masks, so no one really knew who was who.
So when you came out the other side of the tunnel, whatever person was there, that's who you were with the rest of the night.
All right, we're going.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they would hold these black masses. they would do. There was rumors of sacrifices of either animals, even people. The president of the club at that time was named Simon Luttrell, and he was also nicknamed the King of Hell. And he would dress like Satan with horns, wings, and hooves. And the other members were also said to set a place at each meeting for the devil in hopes that he'd end up attending. So they were always trying to conjure up the devil and ask the devil to join them. And like when the first clubs started in England, it was more of just mocking religion. And now over here in Ireland, they're more like becoming Satanists and doing these rituals to summon demons, summon the devil, and holding all these crazy rituals. And shit got crazy. So
Yes.
things just kind of kept building up this crazy energy in this building.
I often set a place for the devil at my dinner table.
Most people should, actually.
Right?
Then, more stories started coming out about this place, about some of the crazy stuff that would happen here. And one of the crazy stories, you want to tell this first one?
This first one. So there was a lot of gambling that went on at this place.
Meeting
A
hall.
lot of drinking, all sorts of stuff that went on. So one night there's like this loud pounding on the front door. And so they go and open the door, see what's going on. There's this mysterious man there. No one knows who he is. He's wearing a hood. You can't really see his face. Dude had a lot of money. So they're like, fuck yeah, come on in. Come gamble with us. Right? So they're gambling. And one of the gamblers, drops one of his cards on the floor. Bends down to pick it up. And this stranger, he don't have feet. He's got cloven hooves where his feet should be. So
Scary.
And fascinating.
And fascinating.
So he picks up his card. He just comes back to the table and he doesn't say shit at first. He's completely terrified. He's like sweating profusely because he doesn't know what the heck's going on, right? Mm-hmm. And then finally, after some time, he decides, you know what? I'm going to call him out on this, right? So he points out and tells everybody what he saw. So this hooded figure then points at him and just starts laughing maniacally and then bursts into flames and vanishes. And then right after this, the guy that pointed it out that he had the hooves, the guy that dropped the card, he just kind of dropped dead in front of everybody. And they believe the hooded figure was the devil himself.
It had to be. He finally showed up.
No explanation.
He finally made it.
Yep.
He didn't eat dinner, but he killed somebody.
Pretty much.
Well, there's more stories about this place.
Oh, thank God. I thought it was just that one.
No, there's more. So another popular tale concerns a young farmer who was curious to find out what went on at the club's secretive meetings. He climbed up the Montpelier hill. He ended up getting invited in by the members and allowed to witness the night's activities. The young man was found the next morning trembling and terrified. Tradition says he spent the rest of his life unable to speak, unable to even remember his name.
But he could eat though, right? So
yeah, I'm pretty sure
he's good.
Yeah,
though.
he stayed alive, it sounds like.
You don't need to know your name to eat. So he's fine. We're good. Mm-hmm. No, that is crazy though.
Oh, for sure. But I highly doubt that happened.
Probably. That's why they're called legends.
Yes.
So, the fun thing about legends are sometimes they're sort of based on truth.
Yeah, there's some truth in there.
So it is possible the dude maybe hit his head on a rock and forgot his name. It's called amnesia.
Yeah, that's right.
So there was another guy, right? Mm-hmm. He was visiting a local farmhouse and he wanted to go figure out what was going on in this club, so he went undercover. The next morning, he's found dead. His host and the local priest, believing him to have been murdered, go up to the Hellfire Club to investigate.
Because that's where he said he was going.
Yep. So they get there, right? And they see a banquet laid out, and there's a black cat prowling around the room. However, this is not a normal cat. This thing is freaking huge. Okay. The priest also noticed that it has ears shaped like horns. And he happened to have a small bottle of holy water with him in his pocket. So he decides to perform an exorcism on this cat. Because that's what you do.
Because it's big and has
it's big, it's got horns, so we're going to exorcise the cat. The results of this exorcism is that it ended up tearing this beast thing apart. Outside, the host is found lying on the ground and his face and his neck deeply scratched by claws.
That sounds probable. They ended up making a painting of this cat, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
It looks creepy.
So at some point during one of the black masses and sacrifices, the lodge caught fire and several members were killed, prompting the club to change locations. But the story that I read about that started this whole fire, it seemed to have been an unfrocked clergyman had performed a black mass in one of two of the upstairs rooms in the Montpelier house. The ceremony ended in the usual drunken revelry. A footman picking his way through the sprawling body spilt some of his drink on Richard Whaley's coat. Whaley reacted by pouring brandy over the footman and setting him alight. Because that's what you do when someone spills drink on you.
Yeah.
The man fled downstairs, clutching at a tapestry hanging by the hall door, trying to douse the flames. Within minutes, the whole house was ablaze.
It was Satan.
It had to be. And then Hellfire's new home was the Killicky Steward's house, a short jaunt from the Montpelier Hill. By this point, the club's activities had sharply declined, that is until 1771 when Thomas Buck Whaley revived the group.
Well, that was nice of him.
Yeah, well, after he killed somebody by lighting them on fire, he probably felt like he had to bring the group back together.
Well, I would assume so, yeah. Like, look, hey guys, I'm sorry I ruined things. Like, I found a new place. Let's start the debauchery again.
And this time, the Hellfire became the Holy Fathers when it was revitalized.
Oh, okay.
And it decidedly unholy activities thrived for another 30 years. And one of the worst legends from this period involves the kidnapping, murder, and then eating of a local farmer's daughter.
No, yeah, it's also something that's very common.
And then, repentant at the end, Whaley died in 1800 and took with him the remains of the Hellfire Club and the lodge's livelihood.
Okay, then.
So that is kind of how
Sounds like a neat club.
I would have joined it. Sounds pretty badass.
I know you would have.
I know. You would have joined it too.
Probably.
Hell yeah. We would have kept secret about it too because you don't talk about.
Yeah, the first rule of Hellfire Club is you don't talk about Hellfire Club.
Everyone knows that.
That's where Fight Club got its mottos from Hellfire Club.
But now, I mean, there's still a lot of hauntings that are going on there. It's still said to be haunted.
I sure hope so, or we wouldn't be talking about
You
it.
know damn well. There are some sightings that continue today. Many have reported sightings of an Indian and two nuns known as the Blessed Margaret and Holy Mary.
Hold on. Like Indian?
I don't even know. It just says Indian.
Okay.
But I would guess Indian.
That's what I'm going to go with, too.
Because it's English. It's English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The female spirits are thought to be those of nuns or women dressed as nuns, which they would dress up as nuns or priests during these
Yeah, because they were the Holy Fathers.
Well, they were trying to mock the whole religious thing.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. So they could have been just people part of the club, but they don't know who these spirits really are. Because no one really knows.
We should go ask them.
Yeah, either they're nuns or they're part of the
Are you a
debauchery.
nun, madam? And they'll probably say no.
Probably no.
I'm pretty sure they were nuns.
And then those walking through the ruins have felt their necklaces or bracelets being tugged at and at times snapped by unseen hands.
That's always fun.
Oh, yeah. They also see a large black cat around the hill, believed to have been the same cat as the one that the priest exorcised after walking in on one of the club's many sacrifices.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the exorcism didn't work. Even though
it exploded.
Even though it exploded.
This cat.
Even though this thing was torn apart, a transference is the thing. We talked about that on the Father and Mort episode.
Oh, yeah.
It probably just jumped into somebody else. And then it's a skinwalker turned back into a cat. Because there's a lot of skinwalkers in Ireland.
That's where it started.
Yeah,
just
sure.
Like the Hellfire Club. There's also terrifying encounters that take place at night. Visitors who have dared stay after dark have at times heard the shrieking wailing of a tortured young woman. Legends state she is the same woman who was placed in a barrel, set alight, and rolled down the hillside, all for a spot of fun.
You know, it sounds like they just kind of liked setting people on fire.
That's kind of the way they did things back then.
So, you know what? I'm bored.
That was funny for them. It was like slapstick.
You there. Come over here, climb this barrel. It's going to be fun. I promise.
We'll roll you down this hill.
We're going to
But
roll you down the
first-
hill. Hold my beer. We're going to light you on fire. And go.
That's how they did things.
Gosh.
There's
I wonder
another.
why we don't do things like that nowadays. It sounds like so much fun. Let's just burn innocent people and roll them down hills. All for the hell of it.
We got movies now. We can just watch movies.
Oh, yeah. They do that in movies. Speaking of movies, we'll get to that later.
Okay. The Hellfire Club has a connection to this other ghost called the Green Lady, who haunts the Liberties. There's a church called St. Audien's Church that's close by, and at the bottom of the 40 steps that lead to the church, an apparition in a misty green form is said to appear before suddenly vanishing into the old stone wall beside the steps. Many believe this is the ghost of Darky Kelly, an innkeeper who lived in the area during the 1700s. The inn was a meeting place for many members of the Hellfire Club, including Simon Luttrell, the sheriff of Dublin. And
We talked about him earlier. That's the guy that was named the King of Hell.
The King of Hell. The story goes that Darky and Simon were good friends, but had a falling out before a sheriff accused her of witchcraft. She was sentenced to death and publicly burned at St. Stephen's Green in 1746. She haunts the area to this day.
So one of the other legends that we didn't mention with Simon Luttrell, since we're talking about him, King of the Hell, right?
King of Hell. He was the president of the
He
club.
was the president. He got himself in a lot of gambling debt. In order to wipe out his debt, he made a deal with the devil and said, "You can have my soul in 7 years." And the devil wiped out all of his debt, because that's what you do.
Yeah, that's when you sell your soul, you get your debts wiped. He's
And
got money. He's got
yeah,
all the money.
Yeah, the Satan can do what he wants. In 7 years, he came back. And he's like, "All right, I'm here for your soul, but here's how he did it." He came into the Hellfire Club. They said, "All right, the last person to leave this building, I'm taking your soul." So everyone started booking it out of this place, tripping over everybody, pushing people down to make sure they're not the last one in there. Guess who the last person in there was?
Luttrell.
It was Luttrell. But they say he somehow tricked the devil and was able to escape with his life and his soul.
Down
It
in
was
Georgia?
Yeah. He did one of those "Hey, what's that over there?" And then he ran out of the club.
Ran between his legs and got out.
"Hey, haha, I got you, bitch."
I don't know why the devil doesn't end up eating dinner with them. They set a place for him and he just
They
shows
run
up.
from him.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
the devil
asked him
did
to
say,
show up. They asked
the
him to
devil
show
did
up.
say "Oh, I'm going to steal your soul if you don't leave." But
Yeah.
apparently he makes people drop dead playing poker. So I don't know why.
Sounds believable.
Right? He sounds like such a great guy.
So there's 2
I hope
episodes
no
that
one
were
thinks
there.
that we're being serious.
Of course not. So Expedition X was there and
Yes.
Ghost Adventures was
Ghost
there.
Adventures.
Expedition X, they did kind of a more scientific investigation
They did.
because there were reports of rocks being thrown at people that when they're inside.
Their tour guide, Sinead.
Yeah, the tour guide talked about the rocks being thrown at people, and what else did they have?
The woman screaming. So Sinead said she actually experienced this. She heard the woman screaming, and she went to where she thought she heard the voice, and then on the other side of the building, that
The voice
same
came,
voice,
yeah.
the voice came from the other side of the building. So she went to go check it out, and it disappeared. She couldn't
Right.
find the source of this voice, but it seemed like it was just coming from one side of the building and then also from the other side.
Yeah,
of the
she
building.
went across the building to find out what was making that noise, and they heard the same noise on the other side where she just came from.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, some people get stones thrown at them from the second floor, and then they hear whispers and music coming from the inside of the building when people are on the outside of the building and no one's inside. And then, yeah, then they got that EVP that says "Get out."
Oh, do you want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
I think I have it. I'm really good at making these work.
Okay, while you're getting that, so Expedition X, when they were there, one of the things they did was they put a fog machine to see how the air gets moved around in that building, to see if the air could be causing some kind of noises by flowing in and out of things.
I was jealous of this fog machine. I want one.
That is pretty cool. And also when it comes to the rocks falling or getting thrown, it could be some of the things crumbling and falling down and then just the air kind of pushing it. That could be a thing. So they were kind of looking at all that. While they were setting things up, though, they kept hearing weird stuff.
Yes.
And hearing rocks getting, like, falling or getting thrown at them.
It sounded like, because in some of the windows they had metal bars that went across them. It sounded like stuff was hitting the metal bars according to them.
Right. One of the sounds that they heard kind of sounded like one of the cameraman farting, so I'm not too sure.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Well, just when the rocks were falling, one of the sounds that they said, "Oh, did you hear that?" Well, it kind of sounded like, I bet you one of the cameraman farted.
It was probably like this. It was like, did you hear that? It was a ghost. Yeah. So this is Sinead's EVP that she said she heard there.
Was that it?
That was it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That one didn't really sound too good.
This is, yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little weird. What else did they have anything else there?
Not EVPs or anything there.
No.
They seemed like they had more activity at
They were
the one in
getting
England.
they were getting activity on the REM pod, and
Yeah, they did get some REM pod activity.
but then
They didn't seem like at the Dublin one. It didn't seem like they get a whole lot.
yeah, it didn't seem like they got a lot of
It
interaction
seemed like they
there
got more stuff at the England
in
one.
the England at the Hellfire Caves.
Yeah.
When Ghost Adventures went there, they got an EVP that sounds like it says Hellfire,
Oh, okay.
which it kind of did sound like it. And then Aaron, who was there, he heard what sounded like, and they were calling it a banshee because there's this legend of a banshee being in the woods. He hears this woman yelling the word "no," which, what if it's that girl in that barrel that got lit on fire?
Maybe.
That could be it.
She would probably scream no.
And then he also felt like, Aaron also felt like he had 4 fingers kind of brush against his face. And that kind of freaked him out, and he was crying and doing all that, his errand stuff.
He cries a lot.
Yeah. But, yeah, that it didn't seem like they got a lot of interaction in this place. But, I mean, the legends are there. That's all you need.
All the legends. I said legends are sort of based on truth.
I'm pretty sure this place is pretty haunted, though.
I bet you it
I
is.
guarantee this place is.
Well, let's add it to the list of places we want to go, but probably never will.
I think one, I don't know.
We'll set up a GoFundMe so we can.
Well, there's
take
a lot of places all around this little area that are kind of connected.
I want to take a year off and just travel and go ghost hunting.
We should.
And we want you to pay for it.
Yes, you guys.
You guys pay for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So we
places
can
that
give
are
you content.
pretty haunted that we could all go to all around the same area. Where
Right.
Ghost Adventures went. They went to
Look,
like,
hey,
Loftus.
it's only an hour, or it's only a 90-minute flight from Dublin to London, and then a half an hour drive to the other Hellfire Club.
Boom. Let's do it.
So we're like 2 hours away from 2 Hellfire Clubs.
This is what we got to do.
So yeah, we can
Well,
we can do it all. in
Remember
one
how
night.
they moved? They moved from after that fire happened and
Yeah.
they lit the dude on fire. They moved down to this other pub, which has a lot of happenings there too that we can talk about in another episode.
And then I'm sure if we're in London, we could probably we're probably close to the Ancient Ram Inn.
Of course,
There's everything.
there's a lot of stuff. We got to visit it all.
Yes,
one
we
day
do.
with your help.
Yeah, yeah, we're broke.
Broke as a ghost.
Do you know what though? Did you see The Nun 2 yet?
No,
I don't like that you haven't seen it.
no.
So I'm going to recommend it if you like the Conjuring movies. Okay, this one is actually very well done. I like the storyline up until about the 1 hour mark or about halfway through, and then the storyline just gets weird. But I still think it's worth at least one watch, whether it's in the theater or if you wait till Redbox. It's totally up to you. But it is spooky season, so here's some movies that I'm going to recommend. The Nun 2. I have not seen it yet. I might go see it on Tuesday because my work is renting a place that has a movie theater and I could go see it for free. But Haunting in Venice,
Yes, I want to see that one.
that is on my list. You can be my +1.
I would love to be your +1.
I'm sure all the old coworkers would love seeing you there.
Bring me in.
Then there's the sequel to The Exorcist coming out soon. I think it is this weekend, maybe next weekend.
Yeah, it's coming out real soon though. I did see that trailer. That looks pretty good.
And if you haven't already seen it, I know we've both seen this one, but there is the Dracula movie, The
Yes.
Last Voyage of the Demeter.
That one's pretty cool.
I liked that one. The only thing that ruined it for me was the old couple talking through the whole movie. But the movie was actually really good. I really liked The Haunting of Demeter.
Yeah. I had to find out. Well, there's a lot. The movie itself is in darkness. A lot of darkness is in the
Well, yeah,
movie.
because it's a vampire movie.
Which, yeah, and it's in a ship.
Vampires come out at
And
night.
it's all at night. So I had to find out the different settings on my TV, and huge difference. I was like straining my eyes trying to
Turn up
watch
the
it.
brightness.
No, I
Adjust the
changed
contrast.
changed it from dynamic to movie.
Change your Instagram filters on your TV.
Yes, I changed my Instagram filters on the TV, and I could see things better.
So those are some of the movies that we've seen and we are planning on seeing because it is now October
Yes.
and it is definitely now spooky season.
Well, a movie that came out not too long ago, it's still newish, that I would recommend, Reinfeld.
Oh, love Reinfeld. If you
Yeah.
have Peacock, it's on there.
Yeah, recommend that one.
This so that was
Good.
just
It's
such a
good.
great
I was
movie.
cracking up the whole time.
I love Nicolas Cage's Dracula is freaking awesome.
It was the best Dracula performance so far.
I agree.
Yeah, because I mean, hopefully things get better in the future, but that was the best so far.
We'll go see the other two movies. I've seen The Nun. I think The Nun 2. Like I said, if you like the Conjuring universe, you'll like this one. If you don't, it's not for you.
Yeah, I like these ones. I like those kinds, so
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna like it.
So we're going to go see the other ones. We'll kind of give you a quick review on them when we do see them.
Yeah,
The Haunting in Venice and The Exorcist.
yeah, and if you have any stories you want to tell us that we can tell on a future episode, go ahead and hit us up on our Gmails, our socials, evp.pod.
Yep. Facebook, Instagram.
And then Gmails where you'll find us on the emails.
Yes. Yes, sir. And then buy it stuff at Ghost Up.
And then don't forget Benson Grist Mill, October 20th. Get your tickets. They're posted already. And go see them.
Yeah. The more tickets you buy, the quicker we can get to our yacht.
That's right. And I'll say it again. Go see Don't Play That.
Peace out, butterflies.
This is the EVP Podcast.